The Square Ball Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the show. It's brought to you in association with
Levi Solicitors.
I love it. It still catches you on the hop.
It didn't at all. I left a dramatic pause.
All right, okay. Which will be imperceptible to the viewer or listener. This is on YouTube and in your podcast feed, by the way. Dan here with Michael and Moscow as we do propaganda. Brought to you by Levi Solicitors, who will do a 10% discount on your legal fees. levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Oh, Michael, sell the wide range of services that Levi Solicitors do. I mean, I'm sure you know them all. You know, you like to sell them all individually and equally.
We had a podcast review that mentioned it. Because we get an update from Chartable, the people who put stuff in the charts, and the top review on it said 5 stars, Will's Probate Conveyancing. I don't know what these legal services are, but I can't wait to need them.
Excellent. Well,
if you do need them, which we all will at some point.
Everyone should have a will, particularly if you're a homeowner, you're buying a home.
If you bought a home, you've needed conveyancing. If you're going to buy one, you do need it.
And when you sadly shuffle off this mortal coil, do you want that home to go to that dreadful money grabbing, that relative who you don't see anymore? No, you don't, do you? Want it to go to the right person.
Leave it to the square ball.
Yep. So you make sure you get your will in order, so then when probate comes around, all good. Don't leave it to us, by the way. We should say that's not actual legal advice. Although Moscow just went,
You could do.
Would you take a free house?
I mean, we could probably find a use for it, couldn't we? People have been that generous.
Yeah.
I think traditionally it's a dog's home, but...
Yeah, don't leave us pets, actually.
Yeah, don't leave us pets.
I don't have to look after anything.
Either leave your homes to us or to a local pet charity. Those are the only two options.
levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball for sound legal advice with a 10% discount on your legal fees.
They may have some different ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I would normally listen to the professionals.
Talk through your options with them rather than listening to us.
Don't just leave it all to the dog's home. Right, propaganda then. This is the show where we find out what has been said in the world of football through a Leeds United lens.
Donkey sanctuaries are good as well, though, aren't they?
We had a donkey sanctuary around the Warnock era, didn't we, at this football club? Hey. We find out what's been said in the football world. It's not always as much fun doing this side of things from a Leeds perspective when Leeds have not been so great at the weekend. Shall we just do the bloodletting now, get the misery mix out of the way, see if you agree with these folks who've sent us messages in, our TSB Plus members, their thoughts on the weekend?
There's not much Southampton either.
There's not, no.
One clip.
Is it Saints Light?
One clip, that'll do.
Yeah,
they won, they played better than us, fine.
Then we'll just laugh at Liverpool and Man United.
Exactly.
Fine, here we go then.
Flat. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Don Goodman, but I watched Southampton get mullered by Sunderland and Leicester, and the only thing you could learn from those two games is that the way to get at them is to get at them, and we just kind of sat off and didn't press.
There's nothing like a reality brick to the face, is there? And there's nothing like Leeds to keep delivering them. Fuck me, that Southampton result. Wife's a Luton fan. So all I've had for the past 4 hours is, we are Premier League, we are Premier League. Still, not too upset that they beat Everton.
You're also welcome to blame me for last week saying that we look good enough to never drop points, and the football gods sort of called my bluff there. Look, Southampton was just clearly better. I'm sure someone with more knowledge on football tactics will be able to break it down and find the flaws. But the bottom line is we look like a bunch of kids who spent the day at Peppa Pig Park and had a sugar crash.
I mean, only Leeds United could go from the best performance of the season by a mile to the absolute worst and being 3-0 down on 35 minutes. I mean, why is Cooper stepping up on that first one? Just stay in line. Surely Rodon comes back in. Oh well, hopefully it's a blip and not the wheels coming off, our form falling off a cliff, Farker moving towards resignation, and the 49ers selling up to Cellino again.
Just utter shite. Really, really shite. No excuses. They were terrible.
You might remember me tweeting before the match that with Cooper in defence and Strike having to play on the right, look forward to Leeds conceding some sloppy goals. Guess what? We saw Leeds conceding sloppy goals. Actually, I'm no mystic med, but if I and many other Leeds supporters can see it, why can't Fark? What a mug. Actually, let's have a mug.
last week I had my wisdom teeth taken out. And the best thing I can say about that game is about half time, I was thinking about calling my dentist and seeing if he wanted to take any more out. What a shit that was.
I think I understand where our fan base is so damaged, because you look at the form coming into that, we are well ahead. Like, we're on form, we look well. So Southampton won a game of 5, and they come out and look like peak fucking brilliance, and we look shocked. But it's a long season, a lot of way to go, and let's just move on and beat these chumps on Wednesday, and everything will be fine, right?
Absolutely. There's some spectacular Normanton level catastrophising there in the middle from I think it was our first Irish message leaver. Was that you doing the accent?
No.
Committing yet another race hate crime?
Mine would be less convincing.
No. And I should say, just for the record, it's not Peppa Pig Park, it's Peppa Pig World. It's bigger than a park, it's a whole world. Over and over again. Yeah, over and over again. Okay, put that to bed. Have we anything to add to that? Nah, probably not.
You watched it as well, didn't you, Moscow?
I'm aware that Leeds played at the weekend.
Think it was good?
No, but it wasn't terrible. We're just...
Fragile is the word you used in your match report on our website, which you can find there at thesquareball.net, along with those mugs. You mentioned Farker mugs. Quickly sell the Farker mugs.
Sell this mug. No, I mean, I'm drinking out of one of, never mind the Farker mugs. What everyone really wants is a mug with Matthias Click, Stuart Dallas, Held Costa and Jack Harrison on. It gets kind of worse as you go around it. I would recommend you drink it. If you drink left-handed, you can just look at Click and Dallas, which is nice.
Clicky's down for the goal of the match day in the old MLS, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I swear it's deflected, isn't it?
Who cares?
I'm not imagining that.
It's an absolute landslide.
Well, I did retweet it from the Square Ball account just this morning before we came in to start recording, and he'd hit 51%, and the next person was 40%. But when I saw the first screen grabs, it's like the other way around. So I think we've fully leadsed it. So if we can't be happy, nobody else can be. We'll just got to game the system.
Does it say something about the quality of MLS though, that a shot deflecting in off of a defender is like, what a hit, what a great goal? I mean, Clicky has hit it well, but even he isn't celebrating it in a big style because it's he kind of walks away looking a bit sheepish. I'm watching it now, fascinating for the listeners. Yes, it's gone off the defender's arm. Anywho, but well done, Clicky. I'm glad it's going well, and it's a shame. I hope next season Messi is sticking around, because Click versus Messi will probably be better than Leeds versus Southampton. Fragile was probably more to do with the whole kind of season so far, because the thing I remember about or keep in mind about what happened on Saturday is Jed Spence hasn't played a game yet, and Glenn Kamara has started 2. Is it 2? Not really got going yet. We can bring Roden back in. We've got Junior Firpo to return. Bamford is only just sort of looming on the bench like a ghost risen again. So there's still one of the things with how long it's the cliche that the Championship is a long season, but one of the things that means is that your team can change dramatically. Jayden Anthony hasn't started a game yet. Lots of things. Nyonto comes back into that team and hopefully gets on the way to scoring however many goals it is for Michael to bear him anymore.
26 more.
So there's still a lot to change, and a game that if you took Southampton's, it's ridiculous. If you change all the conditions so it makes you feel better, but what else?
If you look at the things that favour us,
yeah. If you take Southampton's form out of it, they are one of the teams who recently relegated from the Premier League, like us, supposedly a Premier League team in the running to get back up there. They shouldn't have been 3 goals better than us by half time, but sometimes things happen. And I meant to look actually, and I never did, but the scoring that they conceded, because they got done 5-0 by Sunderland. And that's so, what is the real true reflection of Southampton Football Club? Are they a team that beats us 3-0 in half an hour, or are they a team that loses 5-0 to Sunderland for no reason, or is this just that we're in the Championship?
I think probably the latter is the truism that you're going to find about any of this.
So back to
lots of moving parts.
Back to where we are.
In terms of what you're describing there about us being fragile, it's just there's a lot going on and it hasn't all quite settled down yet. And maybe it never will. Maybe this is just the form of the season.
Yeah, and because the big question was whether Farker should have changed the team. And what I put in my match report was an old Bielsaism, which I still think is it was on his way out, but one of the smartest things he said when he described the work of a football coach is you've got to stop doing what's working before it stops working. And why would you, without hindsight, change a team that mullered Watford 3-0 until they lose 3-0 in half an hour, and then it's obvious you should have changed it, but you can't really predict that's going to happen. And the other factor is, with all those players like Jed Spence and Glenn Kamara being new, we have not even seen Groove play a game yet. I don't know if Farker necessarily knows what works yet, so it's kind of, you play the Watford game, you think, oh, this is great.
We're not just marching on together, we're learning on together.
Yeah, you'd think after Watford we've hit exactly what we need for the season.
I was being deliberately overly earnest there.
We don't fail, we learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah.
Do you see Jesse being linked to the Rangers job?
He would. I really, really hope he gets it.
Hat tip here to Graham Smith, who would have had to endure him twice.
He will be absolutely in alive up there.
Yeah.
I look forward to it immensely.
If it comes down to...
The Queen, yeah, I grew up watching her on the TV. I mean, what's your favourite moment of the Queen then, Jesse?
The money.
Oh,
the shape of the crown.
Yeah.
The other... Because one of the other candidates is Muscat, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Millwall fans wanted him the other week.
I'd quite like to see Jesse Marsh and Kevin Muscat just going down to the final two for the interviews. I imagine Muscat will just get him in the corridor and put him against the wall, say, I'm getting this job.
Have you seen the third goal in the MLS goal of the match day?
No, I just watched Clicky and that was enough.
It's a free header from 6 yards. I just wonder if they know what a good goal is.
To be fair, it's match day, isn't it? So it's goal of the weekend,
I know, but
you still hope for something better.
It's just a set piece put into the box and someone is completely unmarked 6 yards out.
Are we saying that Sam Byram against Watford would romp this competition?
Byram's was a better header than this one.
But maybe he should get MLS goal of the match day. Can he have it?
He'd win it if he was in the poll.
We've gone a wee bit off piste, so let's come back onto the course and hear from Southampton fans. Kept it to an absolute minimum here. It's 60 seconds of your life. We'll get it out of the way because I think we're duty bound when we do propaganda because we revel in it when Leeds win and we're complete bastards to the opposition. So we have to take our medicine when we lose. And here is just one single minute of us taking our medicine.
It's currently Southampton 3, Leeds United 1. Leeds getting a goal back midway through the second half. They've looked a lot better side in the second half as well. They were a bit toothless in the first half. But I've got to say this as well. I think Leeds are actually one of the toughest oppositions we've had here at St Mary's. We just had less mistakes on our side. Is that fair?
I honestly think there's been a great play between Bednarak and Bellis today. I think they've looked really strong. The fact that we're not playing those inverted full-backs means the back's pretty much covered. It's just those little mistakes to squeeze through. But I think the midfield's worked amazingly well today. That middle three of Smallbone, Stuart Armstrong and Alcaraz was fire for the first half. It's just a shame they don't seem to have the energy to make it the full 90.
It's mad. It's taken until the 94th minute with a minute of stoppage time left that we start to feel comfortable that we might actually get the win here. They can't get 2 in 30 seconds, can they? I'm going to shut up.
I'm glad you did select the 1 minute of footage that makes us come out of it sounding quite good.
Well, it's the only bit they were talking about us, really.
Right.
The majority they were talking about.
Just with reference...
banging on about Southampton.
With reference to Smallbone, I did enjoy that bit in your match report, Moscow, where you said Jamie Shackleton, blah, 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 and pulled the ball back to William Smallbone, who was wandering into the penalty area unmarked all the way from being someone's sidekick in a medieval folktale. I enjoyed that a great deal.
Smallbone.
I was trying to place exactly where it would be, and I said he'd be involved somehow in maybe like a pirate tale. He wouldn't be necessarily one of the pirates. He'd be the kid who gets drawn into the pirate adventure, something like that.
Have you ever met anybody called Big Bone?
No.
It's funny, isn't it? I think that's how he gets away with it.
Probably. Right then, should we move on to some other fun in the football world this weekend? There's quite a lot with the Liverpool VAR controversy. You got Man United losing. Where should we go?
You mentioned Sunderland spanking Southampton, didn't you?
Yeah.
They did that to Sheffield Wednesday.
They did. The Jack Clark show.
So it doesn't seem very happy from this clip. It was a guy called Harry Kilner, young lad.
Sheffield.
Yeah.
The Sunderland fans seem to be having a good time.
They did, yes. The Sheffield Wednesday end, it was, obviously it doesn't all come through on video, but got it emptied out quickly. He was filming at half time and they'd opened the big gates, which they don't generally do, while the game's still going on, but they'd open the big gates and people were just pouring out with them at half time because it was 3-0 by that point. So this is the penalty being awarded, which was the third goal, I think, and scored. There's some anger in the crowd, but then there's also like a voice of reason cutting through which I think just shows where Sheffield Wednesday are at the moment.
Delightful. Was that the voice of reason?
Also, the guy who's going, of course it's a fucking penalty, you clumsy bastard.
Yeah. And it really was.
There's plenty of people around him going, fucking hell, it's not a penalty. And he's just going, it is a penalty.
Yeah.
Look at it. Of course it is.
That air of resignation. We've been there so many times as Leeds fans, haven't we? When that proper despondency, the despair sets in, you feel like you're going nowhere.
It's also, shortly after that, it really kicked in. You could hear a good portion of the crowd chanting Sacks in the morning as well, which when the home crowd's doing it, that's when it's...
Oh...
That's when it's really turned. It's happened a few times at Leeds, isn't it? Did it happen for Jesse?
I don't think so.
He will have done it in a away game, I guess.
Yeah. Their manager didn't, because he was chuckling about how long the fans had travelled to an away game. He's like, not my problem. When they'd got beaten, he was like, yeah, because it was like...
It's a choice.
It's one of those questions like, are you going to refund the fans for this? He was like, no. And then Jansiri's done the classic... it's very calculated when you start his statement that he did before that game kicked off, where it's all some fans seem to want this club to fail. So if those fans want to put their hands in their pocket and start funding it, I am going to stop putting any money in because of certain fans, which was very much...
Where have we heard that before?
Yeah, it was a very Chilino level move of make sure
I was thinking Batesian actually, but never mind.
I think Chilino was worse at it. Because Bates never went as far as actually calling out the South Stand and say, right, they're going to have to pay another £5 to get in return for a phantom pie.
I was thinking it was the Yorkshiremen have, short arms and deep pockets. That stuff, kind of nobody ever wants to pony up and run this thing, whereas I'm doing it, how good am I?
And in fairness, Bates put the prices up by a £5 and didn't give anyone anything.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so maybe it is more Batesy, but they're both of a piece, but it's that thing of making sure that other fans will hear that and go, well, those fans are the ones in the wrong.
Divide and conquer and all that. Maybe these are the words if Ken Bates and Massimo Cellino somehow bred. And this was the bastard offspring who wrote that statement. What an image that.
It all went very Cellino with his the appointment of Cisco, didn't it, in the first place, when Chancery just got on and started ranting about stuff.
And he hasn't stopped ranting about Darren Moore either, as he keeps going.
It's like,
Darren Moore, a really nice guy as well. He's one of those people in football that pretty much everyone agrees is just a nice bloke. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say anything bad about him. And then he just absolutely hates the guy.
And he probably just played the whole situation with a straight bat and told some truths that Chancery didn't want to hear. But I was saying this to
he wanted paying. I think that's what he didn't want to hear.
Saying to a mate this morning, everybody in football is just completely winging it, aren't they? And you realise this, from speaking to Salim Patel when he was here, totally winging it. Absolutely winging it. Running transfers by us. No. We're idiots.
It's Sheffield Wednesday versus Huddersfield. It's on Saturday. It's the 7th, isn't it?
Something like that.
So that's going to be a fun one.
And then I was just to continue that thought, the conversations that were released from the VAR the other week when they did that special on it was Monday Night Football, wasn't it? And how sort of chummy and just loose and nebulous all the language is. In other countries, they'll sit there and they'll say, so-and-so, player is offside, no goal. And it'll be like, oh, Webby, blah, 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 mates down the line and all that. Oh, I've got your back, pal. Anyway, they're winging it. Some live trolling of a child. We always like digging children out.
Yeah, well, this is the YouTube child who's doing his filming, Harry Kilner, and someone near him obviously has clocked what he's doing, and has decided to take the piss of him, which I quite approve of, I have to say.
Everybody like and subscribe. Come on, give everybody a like and subscribe.
I think I approve of that. Anyway, a final short one to finish on.
But please do.
But do for us. Yeah. Hit that bell button, guys.
You don't have to if you don't want. It would be helpful if you did, but
You probably already have if you're watching this.
Yeah.
Helps you keep up with new episodes, doesn't it?
Does.
You subscribe, you see what happens.
Feed the algorithm.
So it's for you, not us.
What's your favourite YouTube subscription you've got, Moscow? I feel like you probably like something that posts like old 1950s dancehall videos or something, and you're like, this is great. I love it when this stuff drops.
LUFC Films.
Okay.
The guys doing the 1980s stuff.
The Wilderness Years.
Yes, the Wilderness Years.
They are good.
Possibly when when a new episode drops there, I get a little tingle and I get all excited. And I've not watched the new ones because I like to save them up so that I can properly savour them.
It seems to me like I think one of my children has been on my YouTube account and has subscribed to a lot of Fortnite channels.
Oh,
I've just had a look. I wasn't aware what I had because I, as a rule, don't like and subscribe.
They'll probably switch off in a couple of weeks. Fortnite.
Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
Anyway, one last clip from Hillsborough. Very short, but it's just a man who wants them to pass the ball wide. And I'll leave it. You can't see.
Yep.
You can't see where the ball ends up, but I'll leave it to you to decide whether or not he gets his wish.
This audio is theatre of the mind, isn't it? So let's open the curtains.
He didn't give it wide.
He didn't, did he? No.
He didn't give it wide.
Reminiscent of
Jesse.
No.
I thought I was going to say the cop watching Jesse Marsh football, I was thinking.
Howard Wilkinson and Mick Hennigan, 1992 at Sheffield United, so across the city, when we were trying to win the league and did easily ahead of the shithouses who were trying to win it ahead of us. You can hear them yelling, "What? What? Hook it out, Johnny, what?" And then, I can't remember who's doing the commentary, but it was, they need to get it wide here.
Right, where do we go next then?
Well, you mentioned Scum. Should we go straight for Paddock?
Let's do that then,
It's getting a bit tiresome, is Man United losing. They've not...
Is it?
Well, you need a bit of hope, don't you, for it to be extinguished. And they had that, and it was good, but now they've lost 4 out of 7 league games.
Yeah, but they had 20 years of winning everything, so, bollocks.
Yeah, but I feel like I need him to look promising to then be rubbish again.
I know what you mean, yeah.
If you know what I mean.
To keep Ten Hag, it's about what you want. Do you want Ten Hag to keep doing the fine job he's doing so far, where he's about 3 Dutch signings away from J. Roy Grott turning up? Or do you want them to sack him and let's go through the whole big rigmarole of them hiring a new manager and
being the new saviour?
Yeah, somebody being at the wheel again. It's probably going to be they'll get Michael Carrick from the bottom of Division 2 and be, it's going to work, or bring Solskjaer back. So it's one or the other, and there's always the risk. We almost had it with Ten Hag because there was a brief horrible moment where it looked like he was getting it together, and you don't want that. So there's always that big fear that they'll get a good manager and sort themselves out. So it is difficult to know what you want. I'm happy just to take defeats.
Yeah, I mean, it's the safe option, isn't it?
You know where you are in those cases.
But there's a bit of a grinding acceptance now when you listen to some of them. And there's obviously some of the usual shouty people, the Goldbridge people.
It's less exciting, Michael, when you get the grim acceptance, but you almost feel like after 20 years of having it all their own way, they deserve that grim, they deserve the kind of the grind that we had to endure, and they haven't accepted it yet, have they?
No, it's true. I do like, it doesn't particularly come across well for a clip, but I do enjoy the sort of narrative already building that they need to have a rebuild.
Yep.
And it's like, well, didn't you have summer when you bought like a new goalkeeper, a new central midfielder, a new striker? Wasn't
Johnny Evans?
Isn't this? Yeah, and Johnny Evans.
Isn't that exactly what a rebuild is, Michael? Is that the question you're going to ask?
Yeah, didn't they already do that? And didn't they get... Because that's sort of the spine of the team. And they got Casemiro last year. They paid like 60 million quid for him.
Yeah.
Is he about 34?
Yeah, it feels like they've spent loads of money rebuilding, and straight away now they've seen like 7 games this year and gone, needs a rebuild. Needs a rebuild. So
rebuild is kind of the self-respecting way of saying our team is terrible and we need to just like clear the whole lot out. But when you are still trading off the glories of being good for 20 years ago, you're like, it's not a tear it all down, stadiums falling to pieces thing. It's a rebuild project. Just need to...
The stadium, by the way, did you see that the roof was leaking? There was a video doing the rounds of somebody sat in one of their shithouse stands and the rain's coming through the roof. And I thought it was very sort of West Standy, which it's probably a good symbol for where they are and that ownership, which is doing a fine job.
Yep.
It should be noted.
Great bunch of lads.
With lovely haircuts.
Yep.
Yeah, Johnny United did a space. I did skip through it. It was 4 hours long. 4 hours he did on this.
Did you get any good stuff there? Was any shouting, any ranting?
He was pretty quiet, actually. I think he seemed to only have let people on who agree with him. It's when anyone disagrees with him even slightly is when he just screams over them. So I didn't get anything from that. So we've got just one little clip from Andy Tate on Stretford Paddock. I've got I've put a little pause in the middle because I want you to guess what's coming next.
All right, here we go.
I'm sick of this rigmarole. One step forward, 2 steps back. What a week it's been, man. Thought we'd turn the corner with Burnley, Crystal Palace.
That's the pause, is it?
What do you think? What do you think the other thing is that they turned a corner with?
Losing to Bayern Munich?
I don't know.
Let's see what he has to say.
Tupac's murderer actually caught it last. And in the words of his famous song, some things will never change with this club and this team. Nothing has changed. The mentality of these players absolutely stinks. It stinks, Jay.
It does. Sorry, I don't mean to smile. I wasn't expecting Tupac lyrics to come into this.
I like how they've ruled out smiling. That's not allowed anymore. That's verboten. You can't smile.
That was fun anyway.
There was a little bit of Paula Abdul in there as well that you seem to have not realised.
Opposites attract, yeah.
So
that was fun. Next.
Shall we hear a bit more misery? Go to Everton.
I'm all for it,
The Bloom, they lost to Luton, didn't they?
You shouldn't lose to Luton if you want to.
No, shouldn't even. I mean, if you're in the Premier League, you shouldn't be playing Luton, frankly. Never mind losing to him. So there's a little mention for Jack, stroke Jackie Harrison in this clip
He's
as well.
definitely not Jackie to them. And we are in the process of deciding whether he should retain his Jackiness, aren't we, at the minute, given that he's...
If he takes Everton down, yeah, absolutely.
Sir Jackie. Yeah, okay. Here we go.
The bottom of the table looks now as it kind of will at the end of the season. We are very much in the 5, aren't we? We are not in the top 15. And it's just to look back on the last few weeks of a season where we thought we had a relatively, in inverted commas, easy start. We've played absolutely no one. We've played 2 teams who, in history, we will probably look back and say they were some of the worst sides in Premier League folklore. We've got 1 point against them, and the only reason we've got that is our best player is our goalkeeper. We are now stuck in this weird scenario where all the things that Sean Dyche is meant to be good at, we are actually very, very bad at. Namely, defending and getting crosses into the box. How many times has an opposition goalkeeper caught a football at Goodison Park this year? Ashley Young meant to be great at set pieces. Jack Harrison only played half an hour today, and already his crossing looks like it's just evaporated into the lower bullens. Everything about the club, unfortunately, is broken, and we are sat here, still clinging on to September, thinking we just hope that there's 3 teams worse than us. But sadly, we've played 2 of them and bullied by them. So where we go from here as a club, I honestly don't know. But I think for the next 7 months, we're just going to be looking around thinking, I hope that there's 3 worse teams than us. And do you know what? The league is that shit that we might just prevail.
They are exactly where we were. I'm kind of glad we went down. I really am in the end. I'd rather be where we are, looking upwards, than just that gurgling around the plug hole. And we've said, haven't we, it's got to be their turn, and you kind of want it to happen for that reason, because of the financial cheating and all that.
The fact Luton and Sheffield United are so bad, though, it does feel like they're probably just competing for
one spot.
For one spot, doesn't it? Which they could avoid, but they didn't. It's good to know they didn't scout Jack Harrison anyway. If they expected cross after cross to be hitting the target,
he'll be fine. They've got that big lad. They'll once Jackie finds his range. Luton's. I enjoyed them saying we've played one of the all-time terrible Premier League teams in folklore. I think Luton are probably saying the same things about them. Do you see Nathan Jones was interviewed by Henry Winter? If you've read the TSB Plus daily emails, you've already had this, but I loved him. I mean, he's such a fucking weirdo. Him still taking all the credit for Luton whilst trying to not take the credit for Luton. And then saying the best thing about managing Southampton was that he got to be mates with James Ward-Prowse, and they're still in touch. So that was good.
I was talking to you about this on the weekend, wasn't I? Saying he said watching Luton in the playoffs was like watching someone else walk your daughter down the aisle.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a track record with those weird metaphors. But he also the bit about Steve Coppell, where he said he was one of the managers he loved working with. I knew exactly what he wanted from me. He was the first one to do video analysis 20 years ago, black and white Betamax. 2003, he reckons. Steve Coppell was wheeling out a black and white Betamax, like, got this great new thing, video technology.
You know what it's like getting old, though. I still hear a song from about 2008 and go, oh, this is quite a new song. Oh, no, it's not. Turns out I'm just old.
He was spotted at Bournemouth, was Nathan Jones. And the feeling is that because his wife is from Bournemouth, and when he got the Southampton job, he said he bought a house. It was, one of the classic managerial things. He was like, so they bought a house in Poole, which is near enough to Southampton's training ground, 40-minute drive, but he just lived in Southampton anyway to kind of prove a point about how committed he was. And he's saying in this interview, he's basically missed the first 2 years of his 3-year-old daughter growing up. And one of the great things about being out of work has been that he's got to spend some time with the family again and be with his daughter. But now he's ready for a Premier League challenge. So it's like, when did he get sacked? It was like...
Is that enough for that little chump?
It was like February. So he's had 6 months with her. Like, a bit bored now.
Yeah.
So
poking with a stick, do something.
There's another 20 years that little brat he's got to cope with. I don't know if he's realised that, but peering from the stands in a baseball cap at Bournemouth as Tyler Adams hurts his legs.
Can we just have a moment revelling in the poor fortunes of Bournemouth at the minute, and the fact they're not enjoying Sinistera very much. Tyler Adams has got that injury, and you don't wish injury upon anybody because that's, it's
only his hamstring.
Disagree.
Be all right.
Yeah, but I can't say I'm sorry either.
You'll get better.
Because he did the dirty on us and left us, didn't he?
And it would be magnificent.
And it's fine to be bitter about that. I think we should say that. I am a grown man, but I reserve the right to be bitter about football because, it's generally not accepted in day-to-day life.
It would be magnificent if the pair of them and Max Aarons, having decided they want Premier League football, end up with Nathan fucking Jones as their manager. It's like, here's your Premier League football. You're liking that? You got somebody wheeling in a video screen from like it's a school presentation from the 1980s. Like, video analysis, guys. You won't believe what you're about to see. And you get the old countdown clock with the music before the programme starts. Not that countdown. I was thinking more, do you remember, I mean, this is going very much into boring old man territory, but schools television.
And then this programme would start.
Yeah, so that you would be able to cue it up properly for a room full of 30 hyperactive, sugar-addicted children, which is probably actually not that dissimilar to a Premier League dressing room.
Where Luis Sinistera is concerned, I feel like we basically were married to Luis Sinistera, and he left us for somebody who's got a better car than us just down the road. Smaller car, very small.
Are you borrowing this metaphor from Nathan Jones?
No. It's entirely my creation.
Is your daughter in the car with Luis Sinistera? Is he marrying her?
No.
Have you turned down a nice Welsh PE teacher?
There is no daughter. No, I'm just. I think he's basically he's left us. She is Luis Sinistera in this case, and she's left us for the guy down the road who's got a more expensive but smaller car, and we're just watching on, hoping that their relationship collapses. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Does that work?
Sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go back to Merseyside.
Let's go back to Merseyside.
Well, Merseyside via the Middle East in this case, because this is football.
Oh, is it our Jordanian friend?
The Jordanian friend.
If you are a medium to long-term listener, you'll know...
Curtis Jones.
He rolls his R's, doesn't he? So it's Curtis Jones.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we were getting requests for this, actually, on Twitter over the weekend.
I mean, as soon as Curtis Jones was sent off, basically people started tagging me, saying, Curtis Jones. He was actually fairly forgiving of Curtis Jones, because he was blaming the referee for... I mean, did you think it was a red card? I didn't think it was.
I can see why it was given, but the fact that the threshold is so low now, I don't want to side with Gary Neville because he was saying, no, like he's just slipped over the ball there. I mean, but it depends on it. The threshold is so low these days that do you know what? I don't care.
No. Yeah.
Just realised I was thinking about it, and then I was looking at both sides of the argument and realised I don't really care.
And I think it was offside.
Yes,
that goal.
It looked to my eyes. Anyway, let's hear from him then, shall we?
This is the disallowed goal going in and then being disallowed. And you'll apologise for the distortion. That's him, not us.
He's onside! He's onside, you VAR prick! Where's that same balls bastard? Bring out the lines. He's off. He's onside. He's onside. Draw on the Excel sheet right now. Draw on paint. He's onside. That's a perfectly good goal. How is that? There's not even a line drawn. Not even a line. Oh my God. How's that offside? Wallahi, I can tear my shirt right now. Where is the AC fucking remote? Allah yal'an abook. Allah yal'anha abook. That was the goal, man. They're robbing us. This is daylight robbery. This is daylight robbery.
There's something just delightful about his whole delivery. I love it. I really love it.
I think he's quite sincere as well in how upset he gets.
Yeah. Particularly as we slip back into the native tongue there, I think, for a bit, and some pleading to the higher authorities, potentially, the anger and the upset.
And he gets wound up. Even people, you know, on YouTube, people do super chats as well. Mm-hmm. At some point, people were doing super chats to disagree with him, and he was like, "I'm gonna ban you. I don't want your money. You can shut up. I don't want to hear your contrary opinions." And then obviously loads of Chelsea fans have appeared in his feed, and he gets cross about them as well.
Oh, here we go. Chelsea fans, main character syndrome. Oh, you'll never guess who they support. Chelsea Football Club. That's a red. Same thing with Gusto. That's a red. Same thing with Gusto. Ya akhi, fuck your club and fuck Gusto. I don't care. Same thing with Gusto. Oh, Gusto got sent off for it, so my player must get sent off for it. I don't give a shit. Man said same thing with Gusto. Does this look like Chelsea game? Main character syndrome with these London cowboy pricks every single time. Oh, Gusto got a red for the same. Why do I give a fuck? Here we go. See, you never guess who they support. Challenge. Guess who they support. Guess who they support. London Cowboys. That's who they support. Same thing with Gusto. No one cares. Both are wrong then. Unbelievable, man. Same thing with Gusto. Main character syndrome. No one gives a fuck about your club or about Gusto. You're 14th. Go watch Luton Town.
This Gusto, is that one of the Chelsea landfill £1 billion that they've spent? Because I look at the Chelsea lineup these days and I go, don't know him, don't know him, don't know him, don't know him.
Yeah, I think this is how far removed down from all that when he started saying once more with, or same thing with Gusto. I thought he meant like
deliver it with Gusto.
Once more with feeling.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, they want him like he's quite gusted with his delivery already. I don't know how much more gust he could give to it, and then about halfway through, I realised it must be a player
who we've never heard of. And can I also officially launch the petition now for formally changing Chelsea's name from Chelsea to London Cowboy Pricks?
At one point, he called Spurs London Chickens.
Well, they're the London Chickens,
which I enjoyed.
Yeah, they got chicken on a basketball.
I quite enjoyed it.
Logo,
you London Chickens, he was calling them.
London Chicken Pricks.
So that was nice. And then the final clip of him is just the sort of thing I have to put up with day to day in the office, at home. This is the sort of thing I'm always hearing.
Bald bastard. Of course, you bald bastard. You love it. Bald bastard. Oh, yalla, whistle rap. You bald prick. You bald bastard. Where's that same bald bastard? You bald bastard. I hope this bald bastard gets sacked.
And that completes your review for the your employment review for the year, Michael.
Try my best.
Where's that bald bastard? Oh, he's making his coffee, the bald bastard. Oh dear.
Mug boxes. That's all I'm ever doing. Making mug boxes. Thank you for buying the mugs. They just keep selling.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, ridiculous amount of Parker mugs.
Do keep buying Parker mugs.
And if they do pop out of stock, we will restock them. And you can have one. In exchange for money.
Obviously, in exchange for money, yeah.
It gets propping this whole enterprise up, isn't it? We say this every time. But we are grateful, thank you.
Buy a magazine as well, by the way, if you're watching this ahead of the game on Wednesday. One of these, Lowfields Tunnel. I'll be there.
Mag and a mug. Not
the Lowfields Tunnel.
We don't sell mugs, by the way, at the ground because I think it would be classified in a football state. Given that you can't even take a bottle of pop-in without the lid being removed for you, which they've got non-removable lids now of fizzy pop bottles, haven't they? Which is a little bit confusing because you're not allowed to take them inside because in case you throw them. But when you get in there, you're allowed to buy one with it on.
Strange rules.
Yeah. But so the whole point being that you're unlikely to get away with taking a mug in, which is made of mug stuff.
Yes, it is very mug. Look,
yeah,
that's the noise it makes.
Yeah, nice clink there. Where are we going next then, Michael?
Let's finish on a bit of an old favourite, City Extra.
Oh, they're back.
This is it. This is the thing.
Because they split that. So just to tell the story, then reset the story. City Extra was the two. They referred to each other as bro a lot.
We thought they were brothers, didn't we?
But they might just be pals who call each other bro.
I think now they're probably not brothers.
And one of
LB is one of them. So he's got his own YouTube channel. The younger one is still, I assume he's younger anyway.
So is it LB who officially sort of left City Extra?
Yeah.
Right.
So he's now got It's LB. City Extra is still going. There's an Irish lad on there quite a bit, but this time around, because Man City lost, so I thought I'll go and listen to him being upset. But with the two of them separate, I've got a clip of the two separate, and it just saddened me.
Is it like when Robbie left?
To hear all the pauses and everything.
Is it like when Robbie took?
Yeah, listen to how sad this is. This is City Extra first.
Oh, Ake got dusted as well, mate. He's stuck in the mud. Ball over top, mate. Ake looks like he's, you know what I mean? He's running on that dead connection. And Akanji with a header, it goes straight to... Hey, how is... I mean, it's just shit. It's just shit. It is just shit. Proper poo, mate. Proper poo. Proper poo.
He needs a friend to bounce off, doesn't he?
And now let's listen to It's LB doing the same. And at the end, it's even like he's speaking to a dead relative, I thought, by the end of this clip.
That is just fucking embarrassing, mate. How is two Wolves players just pass the ball to each other on the edge of our 6-yard box? What? Just knew it, man. I just knew it was going to be that Leeds thing all over again. It's just that, man. It just reminded me of Leeds. Still 23 minutes. Maybe you can get a point here, but ain't looking good, Brev. Ain't looking good, Brev.
I mean, it might not make the recording after it's all processed, but those lonely clicks of the mouse,
chair shuffles.
Yeah,
it's just sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're obviously both. I assume they're both in Manchester watching this game separately.
Maybe they've not got over the cancellation of HS2. Lack of that rail line is going to maybe devastate them.
This must sadden you, Moscow. You love these two. You love their energy.
Yeah, I think what saddens me most is the idea that you might process out the pauses because then it won't work. So try to edit around it.
I will edit around this one because normally I take the pauses down in these clips, but not this time
because it would lose its real Samuel Beckett quality of somebody just sitting on his own, clicking a mouse, saying, "This reminds me of Leeds."
Brev, done it, Brev.
And Brev never answered.
Brev,
where have you gone, Brev?
Yeah. Oh, so that's LB. Unless this,
the mum needs to just knock their heads together and get them sort it out. Whatever the problem is, just stop.
You and you get in there and
yeah, and I'm sure they would be able to. They could be friends again. Nothing could be so bad.
So this is LB to finish, and I think this is the clip we can launch our appeal on.
Okay.
There's still 20 minutes left, man. I need to get energised. You know what I mean? I need to get back, but I just feel like I put all my eggs in the basket at 1-1, and I'm like depleted of energy. You know what I mean?
Sniff.
He wouldn't have been depleted of energy, would he, if he had his Brev there? Get back together. Come on.
They've gone from like headlining arenas together.
It's like Oasis splitting up. Is this?
Yeah, and then
the Mancunian brothers.
Yeah, it is as well. So then Liam's playing smaller venues. Noel's playing smaller, intimate venues on stage on his own with a guitar. It just don't work, does it?
Let's get back together.
Yeah.
Come on.
Go and play the hits.
Come on. People need it. People need your energy.
Yeah.
Brev.
That's really made me quite sad, and it's just made me thinking of Consuelo because those days are gone now, aren't they?
He's gone. They've split. It's a different time. Sorry, everyone, to end on such a low point.
Everything dies.
See you next week, Brevs.
Love you, Brev. See you in a bit.
The Square Ball Podcast.